Hello there. All right, looks like we can see what we need to see. Let's see. Let's be a little more that way. All right, go to StreamYard. Just want to make sure that. Let's see. Sorry about that. Let's try this again. Enter studio. And let's mute that. And mute that. Okay. All right. That should work better. All right. I've got myself in twice. I'm just... add to stream and remove that one. There we go. All right. Well, at least now I can see what's going on. I apologize for all the mess. Stay safe on your drive home. Yeah, I realized as soon as I opened up the second copy of StreamYard on the other computer that it was going to feed back the mic. So, all right. Okay, so the right one is muted. The right one is unmuted. All right, let me... So, yeah, I'm on a wired connection. I'm running actually from the laptop, which has a better video processor. So hopefully I won't have the flickering problem with the camera. Hello, Catherine. I am going to have to run out for just a second. My Achilles tendonitis is acting up today, and I need to rest my knee on a pillow while I do this so that I don't aggravate it. I shall return momentarily. Oh, and for those that didn't get to see it last time, I'll leave up a screensaver for you. Let's see. Sorry about that. Let's see. Can I balance that there? There we go. And just drop that down. I'll be right back. And I'm back. There we go. Take this out of the way. And this is the warping frame that I'll be using with the spools. As you can see, it's got binder clips on it. I'll use the handles as the guide loops. And the step stool here. And a nice thing for me to rest my knee on. There we go. Let's see. All right, so let's get a spool and get started. While I'm at it, let me turn on a little bit of background music. Let's go with Feeding the Ducks. Okay, hopefully that's not too loud and you can hear me over it. There we go. All right, we have 3 spools left to go. And a little bit of painter's tape pre-deployed, so I'm not having to fumble for it all the time. I'm thinking ahead and using my kidneys. Yeah. Make sure this goes through the D-ring. I got the AC set for a cool 70 degrees. Garage is still a bit warm. It's only been running for about 40 minutes or so. And with his little insulation as my garage has, I'm not surprised that it might take a while to cool down all the way. But I am in the path of the air, so that's nice. Let's get it all the right way so I know. There we go. All right. Let me guess, I forgot to loop the... Nope, it's starting up again. Okay. And get out the timer. Timer 6 minutes, 10 seconds. I'll go ahead and put that out of the way there. All right. And go for that. And we are ready to get started. Gotta remember to do just a little bit of touch resistance on this comb as it's unwinding. I still have a respectable amount of thread on it, so I'm not overdoing it. And like I said, I'm going to try and run all of the spools off tonight before I move the screen. And then maybe either Friday or Saturday, I'll set back up with the Takadai, move the braiding frame back into the upstairs and see if I can't start warping that up. I got the D-rings that I wanted. The size that I used for Ian's braid did work, but it was a little bit of a snug fit. If I'm going to be using 2 D-rings for making it usable as a belt, I want to give myself a little bit more room to play around with it. I don't want it to make it where it's too hard to set the belt using that as a buckle. Oh, for those that I was talking to last night, my next door neighbor is back home. Apparently, he wasn't feeling well, checked himself into the hospital, had a mild case of pneumonia. They treated him, and he is back home and feeling better. So, but apparently the neighbor didn't know where he was, and apparently the police weren't able to talk to the hospital to see if he was checked in or not right away. So, but glad to hear he's doing better. I think the microphone is running from the headset I've got around my neck. So hopefully you'll be able to hear me better tonight than you were before. If anybody has any issues with the audio, please let me know. This is, of course, assuming you guys can hear me, which I'm assuming is the case. We got about 3.5 minutes left on this one. I should have more flexibility with the larger spools. So I've got tomorrow off, so I have a 3-day weekend to get ready for finishing up the projects I need to get done before I go on vacation the following weekend. I'm not sure exactly what my streaming schedule is going to be next week. I'll probably have at least one or two. And I'm pretty sure I won't have anything streaming over the next weekend. But 3 weeks following that, I will try and have, hopefully, if I've got a good enough data connection, I'll live stream at least once a week. And I'll try and upload at least a couple of videos over the course of each week. I'll probably do the videos on my phone. And worst case scenario on that, I can probably go to like there's a local McDonald's not too far away. It might give me enough bandwidth that I can upload the videos. Yeah, we've got about 2 minutes left. It is a bit messy, but I do have a lot of nice stuff here in the garage/shop. So this drill press is a 15-year-old Harbor Freight drill press. Perfectly serviceable. It takes a little bit of work to set the belts. I mean, not a whole lot, but I like the reliability. You can use a larger motor with it. And it's not as complex of a drive system as some of the other methods. 1 minute, 10 seconds. I got most of the kinks worked out. This hasn't wrapped around the way I don't want it to. About 35 seconds. And we are almost there. There we go. And make sure it's locked open. There we go. And loosen that up. Slide that off. Yeah, it's a little lopsided for this one, but not too bad. There we go. Better than it wrapping around where I don't want it to go. Yeah. A little bit of pre-deployed tape. That one's good. Let's get the next one. And go. Thread that one through. A little bit of tape. And oops. Bump the D-ring off, which isn't too bad, except it kept sliding to the floor. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and change the background music. Brand. Okay, what did I do there? Okay. Let's try lo-fi beats. And back to comments. Let's do a quick check on YouTube Studio. We seem to be doing good there. Alrighty. And back to stream. Helps if I don't like try and knock things on the floor. A little bit of seltzer. And make sure I don't have things twisted around in a way that's likely to cause problems. That was potentially a mistake. Okay. Probably wasn't tight enough. There we go. All right, slack's mostly taken up, though it's a little bit further out. Start that, and there we go. After this, we only have one left to go. I'm guessing that the microphone isn't working. See if I can do this without screwing anything up. Testing 1, 2, 3. Test. Okay. Yep. It says the microphone's going. So hopefully you folks can hear me. And this is the second to last of the braid. I'd say what time I have left, but apparently I've managed to position myself where I can't see the countdown on the clock. There we go. 4 minutes left. 3.5 minutes left. Welcome home, Jen. Or welcome to your home. I'm pretty sure you don't need me to say that. Glad you made it home safely. Been at about 22 minutes, and this is the second spool. Hopefully my rate will improve. Not have to run back and forth into the house. Sorry, just making sure to pay attention. Yep, I'm doing reasonably well, I think. I'm not sure if I'll get all the remaining ones done before 9, but I think I'm doing reasonably well. If I have to run a little after 9, that should be fine. I don't have to be up early tomorrow morning, so I can sleep in if I need to. About a minute and a half left. And plenty of silk still left on the top. Probably enough I could redo those 3 spools if I need to, but I think they'll be usable as is. Oh, it does look like the laptop is much better at handling the video feed here, the camera feed. About 30 seconds left to go. Should be any second now. There we go. Double up on the pillow. And there we go. All right, let's go ahead and switch to another soundtrack. Let's try Night Driving. And there we go. Loosen that up. That's a little better. Hopefully it's not too dark on the camera. Ready. Set just a little bit more. And Tape it off. There we go. Only run one more red one. Time to pre-deploy some more painter's tape. Oops. Close the chat window. There we go. Hey, welcome, Lady Decronus. Hope you're feeling better. We have one more spool of the red to do, and then we're ready to switch over to the gray. There we go. Do a few more just to save some time here. Interesting thing, one of the most important things for my constable job is painter's tape. Turns out that for the landlord-tenant work, I need to post it with on an exterior, entrance to wherever it's supposed to go. And my wife has told me I'm not allowed to use any of the blue sticky tack because she's a custodian at a high school, and the blue sticky tack they use there makes her life miserable, having to try and clean up after it. So I'm not allowed to use that anywhere else because it is an abomination unto the eyes of Noggin, as they say in the Pratchett verse. Nothing else is an abomination unto the eyes of my wife. So, oops, did that again. All right, let's get this back up to an appropriate height. And I'll try not to accidentally wrap it around the spindle again. The wrong way. There we go. And there we go. Gotta make sure it's in the right orientation. I will say this, first couple of years married to her, I tended to get sick a lot, but since then I've had an immune system that's fairly close to hers, and she's got an immune system to put a cockroach to shame. There we go. And this will be our last red one. Get in a comfortable position on the pillow, and we are ready to go. Start. Actually hit the start button. Are you happy with the one camera view, or would you like a two camera view? Admittedly, they're not far off from each other, so let's see. There we go. Let's try it that way. Is that a bit better? Oops. Forgot to put the tensioner on, aka my fingers. That definitely made a distinct dent into the amount of thread on the film. Yeah, I was thinking last night that I'm probably about the only person I know or have heard of who's used a drill press to wind thread onto spools. I went ahead and asked that in a couple of the Kumihimo Facebook groups. But I got a reliable RPM, from the drill press, and I can get it down to about 220 RPM, which allows me to wrap at a speed that's not ridiculously fast. And I have it on hand. It didn't require me any extra money to get, and I'm trying not to go too far into debt. Getting set up as a YouTubing streamer. At least I'm able to use the super chats I do for other streams to point people here. I can deduct that as a business expense. Also, my StreamYard subscription. Any streaming hardware like the microphone or the webcams I use. But I only got like another year or two to be able to start making money at it before they consider it a hobby and not a business. But I've only been at this for about a year, so I got 2 years to go. And I'm pretty close. I lost a subscription last night, but somebody else subscribed today, so I'm back up to 831 subscribers. Though my watch hours have dropped a bit, but that's mostly due to the fact that before I went on vacation last year, I was getting an awful lot of views on some soldering videos I've done. And also competing against when Ian was on a while back while I was finishing up his braid. I got a fair number of watch hours out of that. But I'm just about the point where I can start providing regular updates to Rob as to how his braid is going, though there will be a 3-week gap while I'm on vacation, since I'm not going to take a Takadai with me. They're just too hard to break down and transport a braid in process. It takes a lot of work to make sure you don't mess things up. I can transport the whole Takadai relatively easily, it's just I can't get it downstairs when it's assembled. It's too big to fit down the stairwell. Let's see, got about 90 seconds left and we'll be done with the rim. Thank you, Lady Vicronus, I appreciate that. I tell people I'm kind of lazy because a lazy person will work very hard to make sure they're not working harder than they have to. So I try and think up efficient ways to do stuff where I'm not having to spend a ton of work getting it ready to go. It may take me longer to start, but once I'm going, it'll take me less time overall. And it looks like the key thing here is having the first loop lower than you got the second loop that you're holding on to, and providing a little bit of resistance so the thread can't jump around a lot when there's not tension on it. I don't need a lot of tension, just enough that it's not like jumping up around and wrapping around the bottom or the top above the spool. All right, we've got about 10 seconds left. So, and there we go. Extra here so I can drop it all the way through the cone. The AC blowing does tend to move this around a little bit. Let's see, there we go. out there. I'll use a little bit of painter's tape just to keep it from getting too loose. There we go. You can see how much is left on it. That's about the right amount based off of the one I did for Ian's braid. So, all right, you have a good one, Lady Draconis. Okay, if you pop back in, we'll definitely appreciate that. And where do you find it is? Put this back on the yeah, the other camera is jumping around. I am going to move that one. There we go. And this is the gray, kind of silvery actually. Gives you an idea how much thread is on one of these cones. It's about, I think, 2,500 meters. Alrighty. So this one is done. Let's take that off. Tape it up. Did a little better on that one. See if I can feed it through the pilot hole. Tape it off. This one doesn't work. I'll just back it up to the previous one. There we go. Just got tape there. Keep it from unwinding on its own. All right. These are the larger spools. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to have to lower that down a little bit. Not quite so much of it in the drill chuck. All right. So I have that much in the drill chuck. Let's see. All right, so we need about there. Make sure it's nice and centered. Yep, that's good. No wobble. Sometimes you accidentally get something stuck in between two of the jaws and not centered in the three, and it can wobble a bit on you. All right. So that needs to be a little higher. Go. And still needs to be a little bit higher. There we go. I can get that on now. But I'll have to drop it down a little bit in the chuck because I can't easily reach in between to tighten the nut. So loosen that up, drop that just a little bit. Okay. Let's see how centered that is with these spool on. That's reasonably good. All right. So we are going to feed the end through this one loop down here. It's made of the safety pin epoxied into a hole. And through the D-ring. There we go. And yeah, okay. Just making sure that when I'm I just realized there are no through holes here. So I'm going to take care of that real quick. Where did I move that stuff to? spilling water. There's a good towel. Don't want my planer to get rusty. And I did put it there. I know I didn't move it too far away, so where did I put it? Okay, it's not up there, down here. It's the problem with putting stuff in a safe place. You can never find it again. Oh well. That's why you always get two. Actually, I wasn't planning on getting two, but this will work. Now for a bit of an endorsement. I'm not super attached to this brand of battery powered equipment, but I charged this battery up like last fall. I haven't used it a lot, but it still has a charge, which surprises the heck out of me. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a little hole here so that I can get the thread through from the center. And all right, use the drill press stand. Another tool tidbit, if you're ever working with like metal or plastic, sometimes wood, and you've got a little bit of rough or sharp edges from where you worked on it, this is called a deburring tool. It's got a little blade that does a twirl around, and for holes, you can just like put it in, give it a twist, give it a twist. Usually I have to do both sides. Doesn't work quite so well on the inside because I can't get it lined up exactly right, but it helps. Blade's kind of designed to work one way and not the other, so if you are left-handed, you may have to adapt how you do it. And there. And there. Not perfect. Like I said, this isn't exactly the best angle to be attacking this from, but let's see. Nice clean hole there, reasonably clean hole there. So all right. And let's try this again. Okay. Going to run the thread through this hole, get it out on the outside, tape it down, and let's go ahead and get this back on here. And I was smart, and I realize that's a little narcissistic sounding, but I was smart enough that let's see, how easier to do this. I went ahead and printed out my calculations for how I'm gonna, how long it needs per one. So 5 minutes and 30 seconds as opposed to 6 minutes and 10 seconds. So I'll reset the timer here. All right. Let's make sure I got everything lined up. And we should be good to go. All right, let's start. And now I can actually see how the thread is going, and I can control it a little better. These should be much more even. Cone's kind of bouncing around a bit more than the red one was, but that might be due to the fact that it's got more on it, so it's spinning a little faster. Because the circumference is larger until some more threads have been pulled off. However, I'm also changing the way I'm holding it a little bit, so it's got some resistance, but not as much as I was doing. Looks like that's coming along pretty nicely. Yeah, deburring tools, even high quality ones, are like only about $10 or $15 each. If you get the disposable ones, they're like a couple dollars each. And if you get a nice one where you can replace the blade easily, I can get nice quality 10-pack of blades for about $8. And in a job where I tend to do a lot of deburring at work, pack will last me like 4 or 5 months, depending on the amount of work I have to do and what I'm deburring. If you're deburring phenolic resin, they don't last long at all. PVC, they last a reasonable amount of time. High density polyethylene, they'll last just about forever. Got about 3.5 minutes left to go. I think with the ease that I have using these larger spools, I'll probably go ahead and the next one I do, I'll use more of these white ones. I was thinking the small ones would be rather nice, and they have a little more room to fit on the stand, but the ease of how much easier it is to know what I'm doing here and see what I'm doing, I think I'll go with these more often. And with the deburring tool, you can also deburr like external edges and corners reasonably well as well. There's also different blade geometries on deburring tools, whether they're for plastic, metal, or wood. I work a lot in plastic, but the plastic isn't too bad on metal. They just wear faster. And the harder the wood is, the better the deburring tool works. It's not that all that great on stuff like pine, but for like oak and maple, it's pretty decent. You want it firm enough it actually cuts your fibers rather than kind of mushes them like it does in the softer woods. Oh, that's another thing. Apparently, well, Purple Heart is a great color of wood to work with, and you can do pretty decent work with it. If you don't have carbide tools, they tend to get dull fairly quickly because Purple Heart has a fair amount of silica in the wood fibers, as a general rule. Depends on what the soil is like, but they usually tend to pull up a lot of silica, and that'll make the blunt, sharp tools that are just steel. Tungsten carbide definitely holds its edge a lot better. I got about 40 seconds left. We're just about done on this one. We're about 53 minutes in. I was hoping to get a bit more, a little faster on here. About 10 seconds left. There we go. Dismiss that. And that's reasonably good. Not quite as much on the top, but I was afraid fighting against gravity. I didn't want to jump over the top if I pushed it too high. All right. And let's see. Can I get one more loop around? Nope. Too short for another loop. Let's get it through here. And you can do it. There we go. $11 more to go. All right. Drill these holes real quick. Quite do it on that. Works better with a bit of resistance. Let me drill a couple at a time so I'm not stopping to get everything set up each time. Yep. Running the drill at a lower speed seems to get me a better cut. With deburr. You have to be careful to get them started the right way. Not horribly careful, just it can dig in really hard at the start if you've got too heavy of a touch. Too light, you just don't cut catches sometimes though. Oh, I should change the background music again so it's not too boring. Yeah. Oh, we should get a thermometer in here so I know how warm it is inside, how well the AC is working. All right. Just go ahead and do a little trim up here. Yep. Let's deploy a little more tape. We seem to be getting a reasonable turnout tonight. We're up to about 6 simultaneous watchers. Great. There we go. And for those that are wondering about my dad, he is still continuing to improve, so I'm very happy about that. Of course, I probably have to be a very horrible person to not feel happy that my father is improving. He's been a very wonderful and loving person in my life. And I count myself fortunate to be his son. Okay. Make sure I know where I am before I start moving too fast. Yep. And there we go. That's through. And taped. Hey, Marmar, nice to see you on. I'm sorry to hear that you didn't get the notification. That's YouTube for you. Yep, my dad is doing well. And for those that heard about my missing neighbor, he has shown back up again. He wasn't feeling well, went to the hospital, and got treated for pneumonia. So he is back home and doing much better. All right, I managed to tie myself into a knot here. Let's see if I can't undo that. All right. It looks like that got it. And we are ready to start again. Get to where I'm not standing on my foot. Yeah. Start. And whoops. Well, something was binding there, but it seems to have resolved itself. I'm surprised the thread didn't snap. Last time it pulled that hard, it did snap. Probably should bring up the Rumble chat too. Still haven't gotten a chat on it yet, but I look forward to when I do. I think think I've earned a whole 12 cents on there, by the way. Hello, Val. Welcome to back to the stream. And one of the spools took a header. No harm, no foul, though. So we've done that for about an hour now. And I've gotten 4 spools done. I still have 10 to go after this one. And I forgot to change the audio track. I'll do it after this one. But if all goes well, I should be able to start warping up Tama tomorrow or Saturday without too much issue. I got to run some errands tomorrow morning. Once a month, I have to take my memory chip from my CPAP to the local vendor so they can download the compliance information so that my insurance company will know I've been a good boy and been using it regularly. Doesn't really help on tiredness, but man, does it help on my migraines. I think I'm still roughly 5 migraines since the start of February, which is putting it down to about only 1 a month. And I was getting between like 8 and 10 in the course of a month, down to like once a month. That is so much better. But I got to do that. If I don't do that, they don't send me the supplies. But if I keep it up for 11 months, which would be start of January of next year, I will actually own the machine then. And then I got to wait another 4 years until I can get the new one if my current one breaks down. I'm hoping that when I get the next one, they'll finally have enough chips in the pipeline that they can do cellular modem chips in the CPAP machine, so that I don't have to keep taking the chip to the local service provider to get the upload done. It'd be nice if they had some sort of online service where you can just plug the chip into your computer, go to their site. It does some sort of cryptographic handshake between it and the chip to know that you haven't messed around with it, and uploads the information. But my folks who've had their CPAPs for like about, I think, 10 years longer than I have, it looks like the exact same model has a built-in chip, and they don't ever have to do anything with it. Which I'm happy for them, but it would have been nice for me. We have about 45 seconds left, and this one will be done too. Did not get this one quite so centered. It's bouncing around a fair amount. Not enough to cause problems, but enough that it's noticeable. I got 5 seconds left. Let's ease up on the tension. And there we go. Dismiss that. Actually, it hasn't been that hard for me to do it after about the first month or so. And the benefit from the lack of migraines is more than worth it to put up with the frustration of dealing with it. go. I also am unfortunate, or fortunate, however you want to look at it, that I have enough grip strength that I tend to tighten things tighter than it's easier for me to untighten. Uh, Back early in our marriage, my wife and I were reading a web comic, and there was a joke in there that somebody was trying to open a jar of something, and they were having a really hard time with it. And they said, "What love-starved gorilla cranked this down to keep people from getting into it?" And they cut away to a picture of Coco putting lids on these jars, and the comment was, "If Coco no get love, no one get love." I won't say what was in the jars, but I think you could probably figure it out. Not quite into spicy zone, but my wife refers to my over tightening the lids to something as I have cocoed it. Yeah, when I had COVID, I was like 2 weeks into using it, and I just couldn't. So for like about a week there, I just didn't use it. I did see my neurologist. I see for my migraines like mid-March, and he was the one who pointed out that when I started using the CPAP, my migraines dropped to almost nothing. So it was a point at which I realized that was the case, and I've been keeping an eye on it. And that seems to actually be the case. Could be something else, but given how my frequency was increasing with the current medicine I was on, that was about the only change. And my neurologist pointed out to me, I would be willing to accept it as that might be the approximate cause for the reduction in migraines. Yeah. Oops. All right. Let's see if I can't get this a little more centered. Looks reasonably good. Hey, we're up to 9 people. I guess I just need to broadcast later, or stream later. All right, so we're ready to start this one. Oh, I still forgot to change the background music. Let's see what the rock is like. That's not too bad. All ready, and start. It's not quite as visible as the red, but I believe we can see this going on the spool. It's still bouncing around a little bit, but not too bad. So I have 84 Tama in this braid pattern, and the same for Ian's. And there are 12 threads per Tama. So 840 plus 2 times 84, 168. roughly 900 threads per braid I'm doing. That's a respectable number. Okay, Gwen, you stay safe. We'll see you when you come back. We've got about 47 minutes till we enter the spicy zone. Not that I tend to use spicy language all that much. Getting a nice even line down here. Do have a little bit of a headache today, but that's mainly because I was making up for having a 2-day gap in my modafinil prescription with some extra caffeine. And now that I don't need that level of caffeine, I'm backing it down. Unfortunately, I'm probably backing it down a little too fast. But at the rate I'm going, I can theoretically be potentially braiding by the end of the weekend on the Takadai again. And thanks everybody for accompanying me on this shop excursion. It makes it a lot nicer for me. Not quite so boring. And it's getting dark enough that the sun's going down. The sun's going down, so it's getting dark enough. Gotta remember which way the causality arrow is pointing. Otherwise, you tend to be a lot more surprised by how things happen. Or, got about a minute left on this one. Apparently, my possible in-person continuing education class this year is on prisoner transports. So I've got to pick up a new set of prisoner transport belts and cuffs. Last set I bought about 8 years ago, and I've never done prisoner transport, so somewhere along the way they got lost. So I need to get a belt and ankle cuffs, and an extra set of wrist cuffs. They all need to use the same key. Yes, most handcuffs do use the same key. There are like a couple brands that use a slightly different size key that is not interchangeable with the rest of the stuff out there. And there we go. Dismiss that. Yeah. There we go. See, did I miss anything? Thank you very much. That's also appreciated on my end. I can understand that. When I started learning about Takadais, I just really got interested in wanting to make stuff on them, and it took me a while until I was able to make my own. And once I got that made, I realized it was designed for somebody probably about at least 80 pounds lighter than me and would not work for my then current weight. So I redesigned it. I've been happy with the redesign. But yeah, I like well-made equipment. Unfortunately, I really haven't had a lot of a budget for that, so I tend to try and make my own if I wind up wanting to use it. Okay. And looks like I got 8 left to do. This is the okay, so yep, after this one I have 8 more to do. No. Let me guess, I'm missing the one that drops. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I seem to be missing one. Hold on a second. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I should have one more somewhere. I remember one falling off. Which way did it go? Not go under there. Don't tell me I lost one. Not a major problem. I got about 20 of these, so if I just lost one, I can go grab another one. But it's a little annoying because I thought I had 12 out here with me. But apparently I only had 11. And unfortunately, despite my best plans, I think I am probably going to not be able to get this finished tonight. I will do my best, though. Great. If we're making better speed on these. Put a piece of plastic out of the way. It's keeping me from feeding the thread through. There we go. Get the tape. And okay. Let's stick on the wood. Make sure, okay, it's not wrapped around where it's not supposed to be. And we are ready for the next one. And start. Yeah. The resistance here, or tensioner on the cone. Now, one of the things that I would like eventually to do is have enough of these cones of each color that I can just stick them on the rack and warp them up that way. But consider they run about 25 bucks each, and I would need 12 of them for each color. Probably going to have to wait a little bit further down the road. But I could probably do quite a few braids before I would need to reload a color. Something on the order of at least 12 to 14 braids. But if I can start doing stuff like that, that'll help keep the company that I buy these from in business. And they do make a nice product. After this one, I'll go ahead and show the warping frame again. Back up to 8 people. And I forgot to check Rumble. Let's see if I can do this while still being a bit sneaky. Alright. A new window. Live stream page. Load up that. Ah, crud. Unfortunately, with all that talk about migraines, apparently I am starting one. No chats on Rumble. Yeah, I'm starting to have the vision problem. Well, it's been like, I think a month since my last migraine, so I suppose I can't complain too much. I got about probably 15 to 20 minutes before it's going to become very hard for me to see for about half an hour. So while I would like to keep running this longer, I think I may have to cut this one a bit short before I'm done with these. I might do a midday Friday stream. Uh, I'll definitely get these done before Rob comes on with Friday Night Frenzy, because I want to be able to send in like a Twitter DM showing him all the spools ready to go before I super chat him on his show. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to stop after this one just because I can't. Vision's going a little faster than I was expecting. Once I start having the visual stuff, I've got some medicine I take for the pain when that does kick in. And if I take it right before it starts hurting, it helps a lot more. My guess is this is my usual migraine trigger tends to be a drop in stress level. So the fact that I think I'm going to be able to get all the things done I need to before going on vacation is probably what triggered it. But before I sign off, I'll show you the warping stand again I'm going to be using. So tomorrow I need to run to the CPAP provider, stop off at Staples, pick up some more binder clamps. And there we go. Dismiss that. There we go. And yeah, it's definitely a migraine. I am sorry about that. I was really hoping to get most of these done. All right, let's turn off the background music. There we go. And I'll go ahead and turn off the AC since I'm going to head in just a minute. As you can see, looks very nice. Let's see, can we get a autofocus on this? I think that's the best I'm going to get. I think the white balance is also fighting it a bit. This will also let me pick up another spool from inside when I come back out. Wow, it heats up pretty quickly once I turn off the AC. I'll definitely have to work on the insulation. Let me switch over to the comments since I wasn't seeing that since I had the brand up. All right. Hey, Erica, nice to see you on. Yeah, Jen, I'm doing so much better that it's hard to complain too much about getting a migraine. It's just I'm annoyed that it's kicking in where I have to cut the stream short. Thank you very much. Let's see. Yep, it's definitely working better now. Hey, Diane, nice to see you on. Give me a second and I will let you know. All right. And realize this is Fahrenheit, but it's 84 degrees outside. Let's see. Possible rain overnight. Tomorrow's high is only going to be about 84, so that's not too bad. So, alrighty. But yeah, having the AC out here has made it oh so much nicer. Let me bring up the other camera real quick, and I can give you a quick. There we go. Let's see. That is the inside AC unit, and when it's on, it's like that, and it oscillates the fan and blows basically where I'm standing now. So it's been fairly comfortable while I've been doing the spool winding. Shut that off. Yeah. Let's see. Alrighty. And since I promised I'd show you, oops, this is the warping stand that I'm going to use in conjunction with the rack of spools. The way this is going to work is the rack will be down here with all the spools. I'll run a thread up through each one of these handles and then join them up here for like this, and then just tie one end on the tama, pull out the length I need, mark the middle of it with some painter's tape, and then cut it off at the end, run it through my D-ring, tie it off to the other end off to the other tama, and I'll be ready to go. And that'll save me a whole lot of time having to go, as opposed to having to warp around 2 pegs until I have 12 strands built up, then like super glue the ends so they don't come apart on me. And it'll be a relatively even tension, so I don't have like, you know, too much of one compared to the rest of the others because it wasn't pulled this tight. And this is an almost complete sign for where I'm going on vacation, where, let's see, yep. I did all the engraving on this with the CNC router. Just showing you the back. I'm making a rigid frame for it. I still have to glue and drill and screw down the 2 remaining pieces. Then it'll be ready to be polyurethane. Let me catch up. Possibly. Like I said, my usual trigger is a drop in stress levels. Yeah, it's only been peaking here about like the low 90s, but it has, around this time of year, it has gotten up to like about 104 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't have AC in the house, but we do have fans that we use to keep the air flowing through the room. And I sleep on a water bed, which when you turn the heater way down, does help suck the heat out of you. Yep, my roommate suggested that. And it's like, yes, that'll work great. At least I think it was my roommate. I don't remember for sure exactly, but I think it was in a discussion. It might have been somebody on here. I'll have to remember that. But yeah, it's a relatively smooth metal. And it doesn't need to be, overly small or have a tight loop. It basically just needs to keep them from tangling up with each other. So that seems to be a reasonable thing. All right, let me do a quick show of the cone unwinding station. Let's see. So that's what I've been using on the other end of the spool winding. That's a little safety pin that has been epoxied into the board. And I use this for one guide loop. And the D-ring I hold on with the other hand is the other loop. And I put a little bit of resistance on here with my fingers while it's spinning. And it's been working pretty good once I figured out how to do all of them together. All right, so let me turn off that camera. And yeah, I'm really having a hard time seeing clearly. So I'm going to go ahead and, whoops, did I do the, nope, that's the right one. Yep, that's the right camera running. Yeah, sorry to hear it's so humid for you and for Erica. It's been like in the 70% here, sometimes up in the 80s, depending on the time of day. Yes, definitely. That is, and I realized I could use both halves of the handles, one for each, one for one thread, one for the other thread. So I only have to use half as many of the clips as I thought I would need to. So, but yeah, I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I might make a more sturdily built version down the road, but I think this is going to be enough that I can definitely jumpstart getting braids set up to where I'm not having to spend so much time doing that. The winding is taking a little bit of time, but I'm hoping eventually to, like I mentioned earlier, be able to get like 12 of the cones together. It's just that it's roughly $300 plus shipping for one color to do that. So I would like to eventually be able to have enough income from like streaming and whatnot that I can start doing that. But until then, we'll do with the best I can. And I only have to use like most of one cone for each color. So I'm happy with that. Thank you very much, both of you. I appreciate that. And everybody have a good evening. Thank you very much for coming for the stream. Stay safe and happy braiding.